all these problems.
Yeah,
he's the biggest problem.
No, he's not.
Oh
the Buccaneers are second in the entire league in first downs.
Tom Brady got everything he wanted. Everyone's complaining, oh, now Todd Bowles is the coach. Tom wanted Arians fired. Tom said, I'll come back if Arians is gone. Okay, you got what you wanted. I don't want to go to some shit in minicamp, in training camp. Okay, Tom, you get what you want. And now he's played like shit.
But he hasn't played like shit.
Yes, he has.
He hasn't played. When has 9 touchdowns and 1 interception been shit? We're live. Welcome back to the Tipsy Tailgate, presented by Tipsy Tailgate Media, which is now a proud sponsor of Dickerman's Ale House in Hamden, Connecticut. We've got the flag hanging up there. If you're driving past, come say hi. We appreciate them putting up the flag and everything. So, and then another thing, follow us on all socials: Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all of that at Tipsy Tailgate Media. We're posting content daily. We're growing, boys. We are growing. Come join, jump on the bandwagon. We'll accept bandwagoners for now. But soon we're going to close off the list here because it's starting to get filled. But
yeah,
we're a little way away from that though. But we've got some good topics for you guys. Talking NFL, talking trades, talking injuries, talking Brady, Week 8 predictions. Let's start here with the reason why the NFL, in my opinion, is much worse of a product this year than past years. And I think it's because the quarterback drop-off is serious now. I think – so here's my take on it. I think that – and my Siri's going off. Here's my take on it. I think that Brady, Rodgers, Russ, Matt Ryan, all of them being so good for years, even when they were in their 34 to 38-year-old range, whatever it is.
Is Russ even that old yet?
Russ is like 33, so like Russ not even. But those guys being so good in their older age, probably having like some of their best years, along with the guys like Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, and the young guys, Lamar Jackson, carrying the league. We had both of those. All right, we got spoiled. Now we're like a spoiled little brat, and we lost all the older quarterbacks that have been putting up these amazing numbers. Brady, Rodgers, Russ, Matt Ryan. I mean, I don't know if you want to group Russ in that. But either way, they have been having much, much worse years. And now we're just relying on the younger guys, the younger quarterbacks, to carry the league. And I'm not saying that they're not doing it, but I just think it's just us and the product being spoiled in the past. Now we expect too much. And at least for now, I think we're over-expecting what to see in the league. I mean, games are going under, it seems like, every other week.
Yeah, well, I mean, honestly, I think the younger quarterbacks are doing their part. Like, you look at Allen, he's putting up monster numbers. You look at Mahomes putting up monster numbers. Yeah. Even Joe Burrow's been absolutely electric this season. I know they started out slow, but he's been unreal since they started, 0-2? So, I think it might be in our head a little bit. It might be that Brady and Rodgers just suck now, and they're just not winning games, and we're like, oh, shit, like, what's going on here? And we're just used to them being so great, as you said, and they're just not. And, it's, I'm not going to say I'm disappointed in the Packers being bad, because I think it's great. I think it's awesome. Fuck them. But Tom's been brutal. He's been so bad. And I understand his numbers don't necessarily show how bad he's been, but if you watch the guy play, he's disengaged. He went up to his OC at the end of the game last night like a little boy in a cafeteria. He had his hands behind his back. He was holding his wrist in one hand. Like, what are you doing? How is that the posture that you have on a football field? Like, what is that? He clearly has no confidence. Wife left him. I feel bad, but Jesus Christ, you can't throw a football anymore, Tom. Like, it's time to hang him up. The guy threw away his family to suck at football.
All right.
It might be the dumbest decision I have ever seen a human being make.
I know we kind of agreed not to go into this, but I can't allow Brady slander. I got to step in.
Aiden, it's not slander. It's not slander. He's not good anymore.
What's not good about having
my,
the
yeah,
worst,
yeah,
he
okay.
has the worst. He has
So
the
the
worst
same,
running
so
game
for the
in
same
entire
thing that we criticized Rodgers for, having fake stats and
No.
his stats looking better than they are.
Rodgers has probably the two best.
I'm not talking about
quarterbacks
right now. I'm not talking about right now. I'm talking about in the past.
Oh, I'm talking about Brady right
But
now.
if we're gonna compare Rodgers, if we're gonna talk about Rodgers in the past, like we have, saying that he has fake numbers and inflated stats, and his stats are a lot better than the way he's playing.
Brady had one of those games.
One of those games.
Yeah, one of his games were inflated stats.
Okay, no. His
Chiefs
seasons.
game. When
You're
is
telling me Tom Brady has played like a 2,200 yard, 9 touchdowns to 1 interception quarterback, 9 touchdown to 1 interception ratio this season. You think he's played that great?
I think he's been. So this is what I think he's been doing. I think he's been taking way more of the load as he should as a 45-year-old quarterback. I think that he's throwing the ball. I'm gonna find the exact numbers right now. I think he's fought. What can I find? I think he's throwing the ball at least 40 to 45 times a game, which is way
he was
more
doing
than any
that,
45-year-old quarterback.
He was doing that the past 2 years.
But he had a run game. Now he has the worst.
He has the same
worst
running
rank.
back.
Yeah, but the O-line is hurt. There's 3 starters that are hurt on that O-line. 2 of them, I believe, are all Pro Bowlers or whatever.
Their linebacker just got hurt too, Shaq Barrett.
Yeah, that did happen last night.
But offensively, their offensive line's banged up, and it's been banged up since the beginning of the year. It's kind of like right when Brady decided to come back. It was, they went down. And their running game sucks. It sucks. They have the worst running game in the entire league.
I mean, everyone loads the box on them because they can't push the ball down the field.
I mean, I don't really blame them. I mean, Mike Evans missed a game. Chris Godwin probably missed, 3, 4? He's thrown to Julio Jones, who's just not himself.
The thing about Tom, his whole career, you can put him with whoever you want, and he's going to figure it out. That's what made Tom the GOAT. Regardless of the 7 rings, his 3 MVPs, his, 11 championship game appearances, that's what made him the GOAT. You put him wherever you want, and he's going to figure out a way to win. If this was Tom Brady last year with this team, I would say that they're at least at 5-3. If it was Tom Brady from last year, engaged, focused on football, focused on winning, committed, and he's not those things. I'm not saying it's all on Tom. I'm just saying he's not the same guy, and rightfully so, he's not as focused on football. He's in the middle of a divorce. He's probably got to fight for custody of his kids, stuff like that. But I mean, dude, it's kind of self-inflicted. I'm not trying to sound like not sensitive to that it's a tough situation that he's in, but the guy chose football over his family. So he should have been ready for this situation that he put himself in. And he's just not.
And I'm not saying that. I'm not going into his personal life saying that, like, oh, he should have done this, he should have done that. He's earned the right to make that decision on his own.
Every human being has the right to make whatever decisions they want, but we have the right of freedom of speech, and we can criticize a stupid-ass decision, which that clearly was.
Yeah, and I agree. He should have went out on what he deemed was. I mean, I know he wanted to go out in a Super Bowl probably, but that was probably, besides the Super Bowl, as good of a way to go out as you could. He should have won the MVP, finished probably second, I believe, in votes, whatever it was, but I don't like the notion.
They say for a quarterback, it's a lot harder to go out with a Super Bowl win than.
Of course, I mean,
losing.
Only the greats can do it. Only the greats can retire after the Super Bowl.
And then
Peyton Manning.
Brady needs. No, but Brady needs Gronk.
No, this notion.
No, that honestly, that's a big key piece missing.
He's thrown a rookie, Cade Otton. I mean, give me a break here.
He would have figured that out last year. He would have figured it out. But he's not as committed. The guy went to Robert Kraft's wedding right before a game in New York when they were playing where? In Tampa? Were they playing in Tampa or Pittsburgh? Either way, it's just as bad either way. He missed the Saturday meeting. What starting quarterback misses the Saturday meeting before a game? I don't care who you are. I don't care what you've accomplished. Who does that? That is a completely selfish move on the part of Tom Brady. That's ridiculous. You don't do that. I don't care what's going on. You don't do that. You don't do it. Especially you're going to go to the owner of the team you played for before. You're going to go to his wedding. I understand you're very close. But Patriots players going to that wedding, that made way more sense to me than Tom Brady going to that wedding. You're not on the team, dude. You left. You wanted to leave. You cut ties with that organization. So you're going to go the day before game day. You're going to go to his wedding, and I know he doesn't drink and stuff like that. But either way, you're taking yourself out of the Bucs facility before a game. I don't get that. That is so stupid. I don't think that's justifiable at all, what he did there.
Yeah, Aiden. It's not justified.
No, and they got
Right,
completely...
It's not justifiable, but don't you think the guy who's literally broke every record in sports history...
The only reason he's broken every... I'm not taking away from him. The only reason he's broken every record is because he's played for 22 years.
He's the best NFL quarterback in history by miles.
Okay, and that doesn't mean that you can miss the meeting before the game.
I think he can.
That's an awful take. That is an awful take.
If
you saw the result of him doing that. How can you say that was a good idea? How can you say that was a good idea and that was the right decision?
It's not a good idea. It's not the right decision.
They got smashed.
But in his 22nd, they lost by 2 points. And I'm not
to the Steelers.
But in his 22nd season, if he wants to miss a meeting for his second father, Robert Kraft's wedding, I think he's deserved the right to. He's put in 22 seasons. He's put in.
Take a breath. Take a breath.
LeBron is to the NBA. Brady is for the NFL. Brady's gonna get $500 million in a broadcast deal when he leaves, and it's already set in stone. Nobody's touching that. LeBron, when he's done with the booth, he's not touching that. Peyton Manning is not touching that, and he's with his brother.
Okay, no. Peyton Manning already has his own media company.
Okay,
and
but
I guarantee
he's getting paid $500 million.
This isn't even about football right now.
He's still playing.
Peyton Manning will have 10 times the career out of football than Tom Brady. Tom Brady's a weirdo creep. He will not be a successful analyst at all. He won't be successful at all.
Payne's a better personality. Brady also started his clothing brand, which is gonna grow over the years.
You're gonna buy his clothes, Aiden?
I already have one of his hoodies. Great material. Buy it at Brady.com.
No,
whoa!
I don't care.
BradyBrand.com.
We're only
I do not care what you've accomplished in this league. I do not care. You do not miss the Saturday meeting before your game, and we saw the result of it, and it's clearly bled through the rest of the season. They lost to the fucking Panthers 21-3.
PJ Walker.
Right,
how can you justify any of this?
Real quick, before we move on, I would just want to throw this in because it would be remiss not to mention this. Ready? The Buccaneers have had 163 carries this year, okay? 495 rush yards. That's second worst in the entire league, only behind the Rams, who have had 126 attempts. So basically, almost 2 full games full of carries, and more than the Rams, and they're still barely more than them.
And you don't think that has anything to do with the fact that you can literally load the box on them because they can't push it down the field?
But they are. He's throwing for 300 yards a game. What do you mean they can't?
At the end of the game.
No, that's not true.
At the end.
That's
yes, it is true.
It's
100% true. They're down by 10 points, and he's just throwing it on every down.
Okay, let me finish this first.
You cannot make the case that he has been good this season. I'm not going to listen to this.
Their run game is averaging 3 yards a carry. They haven't had one run over 20 yards. That's disgusting.
That's all fine and well. That's all fine and well.
It's not.
I said I'm not blaming it all on Tom, but you can't tell me that he isn't responsible for at least 50% of what's going on in Tampa.
No, I'm holding him to responsibility, but saying that he sucks.
You're not holding him to his responsibility.
The Buccaneers are ranked.
You're not.
The Buccaneers are ranked second in the league.
Aiden, you are not holding him. You just said I'm holding him to his responsibility, but the Bucs have all these problems. Yeah, he's the biggest problem.
No, he's not. The Buccaneers are second in the entire league in first downs.
Tom Brady got everything he wanted. Everyone's complaining. Oh, now Todd Bowles is the coach. Tom wanted Arians fired. Tom said, "I'll come back if Arians is gone." Okay, you got what you wanted. I don't want to go to some shit in minicamp, in training camp. Okay, Tom, you get what you want. And now he's played like shit.
But he hasn't played like shit.
Yes, he has.
He hasn't played. When has 9 touchdowns and 1 interception been shit?
When Aaron Rodgers has done it in the past.
Rodgers plays like shit.
Fake stats.
Rodgers
fake stats. Tom Brady's had fake stats all season. His best game was the fakest stat line I've ever seen in my life.
Listen, I am not saying Brady's playing good. I am not gonna hear that Brady sucks, because
he doesn't suck. But he's playing like shit.
All right.
There's a difference between being bad and playing bad.
All right.
Okay, but the O-line's playing bad, the running game's playing bad, and the defense is playing bad.
Okay, and you're telling me Tom Brady from 2 years ago, if he actually had chemistry with his teammates right now, which he doesn't, because he's been in and out of that locker room all fucking season, which you cannot do at any position, let alone quarterback.
Okay, but
let alone starting quarterback.
Yeah, but you're saying that the chemistry between this offense is the reason why this run game and their sacks.
I'm not putting it on all. I'm not putting it all on chemistry. I feel like I brought up several points.
Yeah, but you're dismissing the 3 offensive line injuries that they've had.
I'm not dismissing that. I'm just saying that's a valid reason. But how many times in New England did you see half of their O-line get hurt and Brady figured it out?
Of course.
Even his first year in Tampa, they had injuries on the O-line. He figured it out.
Of course, it's a different Brady. There's no doubt about it. But Brady's never been asked to throw 45 times a game.
Yes, he has.
Not
every year. Every year he's been in Tampa, he has thrown the ball 40 to 45 times a game consistently.
Not in past years. They had a run game in past years.
They had a run game, but he also threw the ball about 40 times, several times.
Are we good now?
He's from the
No, I guess not.
His first out of his first 7 games, he threw the ball under 40 times, 3 times. 2 of them.
They're also down the whole game, Aiden.
Yeah, and I'm saying that the team sucks. That also doesn't help it.
I don't think the team is really that bad. I think this team has no juice to it. I think this team has no chemistry. I think there's obviously injuries on the team, and I think Brady has a lot to do with the chemistry issues.
Okay. That's a fine take. I just don't want to hear that Brady.
No one's saying he sucks. He's not playing well.
He sucks.
He doesn't suck. The guy doesn't suck at football. Ryan Clark put it perfectly on ESPN today. It's not that Tom Brady can't make the throws anymore. He can. He is a different human being right now than he has been in the past.
Yeah, of course.
And it's ruining his game. Doesn't mean you're a bad quarterback.
It's right here, RC, Ryan Clark. It's over for Brady and the Bucks. Oh, I wonder what happened the last time someone said that about him. Oh, they won the Super Bowl.
Drop the bet. Go on your DraftKings. Drop the bet.
Because now he's with a first-year head coach.
Who he wanted to be the coach.
Well, Bruce Arians was freaking half.
No, it can't be an excuse. There can't be an excuse for everything. It's got to be on him at some point. I literally just said that everyone's saying, oh, now he has a first-year coach. He has Todd Bowles. He wanted Arians gone, and then you immediately made that argument.
Yeah, because
it's not a valid argument. He wanted Arians gone.
Okay, all right,
and everybody on that team wanted Bowles as the head coach.
All right, and then you have to realize that there's always you're never going to get a first-year head coach that goes in there that's flawless.
Gary Kubiak won a Super Bowl his first year as the Denver Broncos head coach.
And what did Bruce Arians do?
He won a Super Bowl his first year as head coach.
All right.
You just said that you can't have a flawless first-year head coach.
Not a flawless, especially not a guy.
You can have one who wins the Super Bowl.
Bruce Arians is way more experienced in his career than Todd Bowles.
That's all fine and well, but you can't complain about that now because everybody on that Bucs team wanted Bowles as the head coach, including Brady, who said he would retire if Arians was still the head coach. So that's not a valid excuse.
Okay, I get it. I mean, I just think I want to move on, but I just think it comes down to you're giving he's a 45-year-old quarterback and he's
why do we feel so bad for him? He's got 7 Super Bowls.
I'm not saying I feel bad for him. I'm literally saying that
he should have retired. He should have retired. Bottom line, he should have retired.
Yeah.
And that's it.
He did retire. He shouldn't have came back. All right, what do we have next?
All right. Getting into our next topic, we got ideal trades, Cowboys, Chargers, something for Jerry Jeudy or Chase Claypool.
You want to do those now?
Well, my ideal trade was actually different.
That was mine. So my ideal trades, I couldn't really pick one. So I know that the Chargers, is Mike Williams out for the year?
No, it's not confirmed.
I don't think he's out for the year, but he and Keenan Allen are having major injury issues.
Keenan's trying to come back, and I think if the Chargers really want to go for it, they got to grab a receiver.
I agree.
I also think that the Cowboys need a little bit more of a spike in this offense. Because I don't know, I guess Dak needs 12 weapons to win.
I think the Chargers could also use an O-lineman because Rashawn's out the whole year.
And the Cowboys. I feel like the Cowboys and the Chargers are kind of similar in the offensive wise. The only difference is the Cowboys have the best defense.
Chargers could use another corner as well with JC going down.
Yeah.
Don't you feel like it's the same thing with the Chargers every year?
No, they always.
I'm sorry.
It's always Mike Williams or Keenan Allen.
The Chargers and the Colts are seems like every fucking year it's like, oh, this team's going to be great, and then they shit the bed.
Yeah.
But at least in the Chargers case, they get screwed. They get screwed every year.
Goals at the end of the game, like injuries, whatever it is. But So my ideal trades are, I guess, mix and match it, if you will. Cowboys or the Chargers. I think if either one made one of these trades, Jerry Jeudy or Chase Claypool. The thing with Jerry Jeudy, though, is I don't know why people are rumoring to get traded. He's still young, and he's proven to have like big playability, and it's proven that this offense sucks. So I don't know how much it's on him. I'm sure he takes a little bit of the blame, and then Chase Claypool, a lot of mouths to feed. They got to get George Pickens the ball more. He's going to become a great receiver. I just think Claypool should be on his way out. So I think Cowboys, Chargers, either one. If they pick up one of those two receivers, I like that.
Yeah.
For them.
Yeah, for mine, I'm really buying into the Giants right now. I think the Giants are going to make a good little run here. For mine, I went Jonnu Smith to the Giants because I think they have a real need for a veteran tight end in that room. And obviously Dable was New England's tight end coach in 2014 when they won the Super Bowl. So he's good with tight ends. Great offensive mind, obviously. And the other thing I love about it is, I do think Jonnu's a good tight end. He just hasn't played well in New England. I think he could use a change of scenery.
Yeah.
I think he could use a new spot. He's also a great blocking tight end and still is on the Patriots. Yeah. So I think that would be huge for the Giants' run game as well. So
What do you think about the Giants kind of doing a little bit what the Jets did, but kind of like a insurance thing where the Jets lose Breece Hall and then they go ahead and they get James Robinson to still pair up with Michael Carter.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about the Giants going and trying to get like a Kareem Hunt? So just in case Saquon gets hurt, because honestly, Saquon's 90% of their offense right now.
Right. I wouldn't.
The only thing is,
I think that sets a bad precedent in the room if you trade for a guy at the level of Kareem Hunt, because then everyone's like, oh, shit, you don't believe in Saquon? Like, well, what's going on here? I think that'd be a bad locker room move, but I could see the Giants trading for a lower level running back.
I think like a Damian Harris, or I think they need someone more.
Yeah,
to
Damian
do
Harris is
different
good,
things.
though.
I don't want the Pats to trade Dame at all. I think we're going to let him go. It's one of those things. You have to make the playoffs to justify keeping Damian Harris because you're going to let him go at the end of the year anyway, so you have to make somewhat of a run if you're the Pats. But, yeah, I could definitely see – I think that'd be a good move for the Giants to maybe a pure James White-type receiving back to catch the ball on third down maybe. But the one I'm going to have to go with is Jonnu to the Giants. I honestly think it's a perfect fit.
Solid. What about Antonio Gibson? I know it's in division, but
Right.
I've heard that he's getting shopped.
Right. Like you just said, the only reason I couldn't see that to the Giants is because it's in division. And honestly, yeah, he is. I think Antonio Gibson in the right spots, 1,000-yard, 10-touchdown back if he finds the right spot. So honestly, I wouldn't even mind if, say, like before the Jets traded for James Robinson, if they got Antonio Gibson, I honestly think that might have been better for them than trading for Robinson. I think Gibson's really good.
The guy that works out with the punt team, I think I'm good off that.
Bro, it's just they got a really good running back there.
All right, so
No, I'm happy with James Robinson.
No, I think it's still a good trade. I'm not trying to say that, but I think Gibson would have been an upgrade.
now touching on trades, let's go over a couple trades that happened recently in the NFL. The Eagles got Robert Quinn.
Yeah, I think that's perfect. I fucking love that move.
It's like in not a weird way. It's like a Walmart version of the Rams getting Von Miller.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Not paying too much. They got like a fifth.
Listen, they I don't even think they need help on that defense, but obviously help doesn't hurt. So you're just adding another great player. He's a very good player.
He's a big play guy.
Yes, and a guy who's had a history of, the Bears obviously always play the Packers in prime time. I feel like you can always remember a big play that he's made in those games. So, as you just said, he's a big game player, and he'll be big for them in the playoffs.
What do we think about the Jets getting James Robinson, obviously losing Breece Hall for the year?
Yeah, no, like I just said, I think that's a great move. I really like it from the Jets' perspective. And from Robinson's perspective, because, ETN kind of bursted out a little bit on the Jags, so Robinson wasn't going to get the touches that he wanted.
And whenever Robinson gets the opportunity, he does great.
He brings it to the house. So, honestly, I think this is the kind of move that keeps the Jets in the hunt for the playoffs.
Okay, and then Kadarius Toney to the Chiefs. Honestly, I'm a pretty big fan of this. So
yeah,
Kadarius Toney's he's a big a versatile guy, fast, quick. I think he's really good potential, and I mean, I don't know, but I think the Chiefs are going to use him perfectly.
Yeah.
Once I saw the move, I picked him up in all 3 of my fantasy leagues.
Yeah, dude, the Chiefs could pick up N'Keal Harry, and I'd be like, oh, they'll get something out of him. And N'Keal Harry blows. So
Yeah, I mean, in terms of like a fantasy perspective, I don't know how good it will be, just because like there's so many mouths to feed in Kansas City.
But in terms of pure football,
but like
great
for
move.
the Chiefs and like the Chiefs moving forward, like that's perfect.
I think it might take time to fit this role, but I think he'd fit the McCole Hardman role. I think he'd fit what Tyreek Hill did for them, but to a much less extent.
I'm not gonna lie.
My
the
thing
end arounds, the quick plays like that.
Right.
My thing with that trade too is like how much it costed. I know he's a first rounder.
He was
but
first round pick last year.
Well, listen, I think it's a great trade. The one thing about it is I think Juju's been a lot better than people thought he was going to be.
Yeah.
He looks like Juju again, so that kind of makes that receiver room a little bit crowded, especially when you have a top 3 tight end of all time in Travis Kelce.
Well, we saw it with the Rams yesterday, or the Ravens yesterday. They put Devin Duvernay, really fast receiver at running back. I think he had like end around maybe. I don't know. But he definitely had snaps at RB, and I think we could see that with Tony.
Yeah, I agree.
I like that move.
Andy Reid, I mean, listen, it's not an issue because Andy Reid's always going to figure it out. The more weapons you give him, obviously, he's going to make incredible plays, and with Pat Mahomes and Travis Kelce also, obviously. So, I mean, I don't think this necessarily puts the Chiefs ahead of the Bills for me in terms of winning the AFC. I don't think it's a move like that, but it definitely makes them a better team.
What do we think about do you think the Bengals, there's any chance that they're buying a low-end receiver now that Jamar Chase is out for 4 to 6 weeks?
I would hope so. But then again,
Nelson Aguilar from us, maybe.
Maybe.
Shopped,
but Boyd and Higgins are very fucking good, and they can do their job.
Boyd.
And you still have Hayden Hurst, and you have Joe Mixon. So I wouldn't be surprised if they don't do it and they just wait it out. I don't think they need to go for another receiver, but obviously it wouldn't hurt, right? So, I mean, I could see. I could see like maybe a guy like.
What about like Brandon Cooks?
Maybe I think he's too good to. He might be too good.
I mean, if they can get him for like a third or like a fourth,
yeah,
I think it's worth.
I mean, I was thinking maybe a guy like a Curtis Samuel from the Commanders. Maybe that could be a move they do. But then again, he's a very good receiver as well.
Yeah.
The thing to me is you can't have. Obviously, it sounds weird when you say it because you feel like you can never have too much talent, right? But there's something to be said for an overcrowded receiver group.
It hurts everyone.
It hurts everyone. It takes them out of the flow a little bit. And, you know, when you have the connection that Chase and Burrow do, they're going to be all over each other the whole game. So, I mean, and that takes away from Higgins and Boyd's targets anyway. So if you add a fourth receiver in there, I think that might take Higgins and Boyd out completely. So I wouldn't fidget with it too much, honestly, if I'm the Bengals.
Well, maybe like a Chase Claypool, like Aiden had.
Well, also, I think
That's
that
the division, but that would be.
I think Joe Burrow's good enough at this
with
point
what
to
he
work
has,
with anything you give him. So, honestly, I don't think it's a need for the Bengals, but it would be a good ad.